the CD1 special election. Thanks for joining us this evening. I'm John DeLuca. Our reporters are covering today's special election. ABC 6 News reporter Caitlin Galehouse will be joining us shortly from North Kingstown. But we begin with ABC 6 News reporter Josh Kerman, who's in Jamestown following the CD1 race. He joins us now live with that part of the story from Aquidneck Island. Josh.
John, it was quiet earlier. It stayed pretty quiet here in Jamestown with only one issue on the ballot, but it's an important one. That's CD1's special election you were talking about. Even with a smaller voter turnout, we have heard at least the turnout has been steady, a trickle of voters coming in. As you've heard all day, the race is between Democratic nominee Gabe Amo and Republican Gary Leonard. Rhode Island voter turnout tracker actually showing this area with the lowest voter turnout, but we're still seeing voters come out on both sides. Even in a historically blue district like CD1, some voters are hoping for a change.
I voted for Gary Leonard, and I'd like to see some changes. I think this country's going downhill pretty fast with the Democrats and Biden in office, so I don't think so. I think Rhode Island is always probably going to be blue unless maybe there's always hope.
On the Democratic side, voters feel more confident in their candidate, but since the victor will only serve 1 year, wrapping up David Cicilline's term, voters have high expectations on what they'll need to show to be considered in 2024.
I think that he needs to get along with everyone in the House. I think he needs to come with some ideas. I think that he also needs to be strong. And I think that he will bring his good political background to the House.
Jamestown is one of a few districts with only one issue on the ballot, but election workers say that may actually be driving turnout.
We've had a lot of interest. One of the candidates is from Jamestown, and I think that has helped get out the Republican vote. I thought there were a substantial number of people who were here because it's a simple ballot, because it has this one question, that's it. And generally, I think people are very excited about it.
As the night has continued, we've actually seen a small spike in voters as they're getting off work, but we are getting close to that 8 o'clock deadline when polls are going to close. Coming up will actually be with Republican nominee Gary Leonard as those results start to roll in. You can catch updates on that on air and online on abc6.com. For now, live in Jamestown, Josh Kerman, ABC 6 News.
All right, Josh, thank you. As we heard, Gary Leonard is from Jamestown, Gabe Amo is from Pawtucket, and the city already seeing nearly 3,000 voters today with over 600 mail ballots. Voters making sure their voices are heard in that CD1 race between Democrat Gabe Amo and Republican Gary Leonard. Voters still making their way to Slater Park Pavilion with polls open till 8.
I think it's important. It's my civic duty. I pay attention. I'm a high school teacher, so if I want to tell the kids they need to participate to keep a country free and a democracy strong, I have to participate and keep the country free and the democracy strong. So.
The Justice Department is monitoring compliance with federal voting rights laws in several areas, including Pawtucket and Central Falls. ABC 6 will have coverage from Gabe Amo's headquarters tonight at the Guild in Pawtucket. Also, that CD1 race is drawing most of the attention, obviously, but we'll also be following results from other key races across the region this evening. In the State Senate District 1 race, a special election pits Democrat Jacob Bessalon against Republican Nayoka Powell. That race is to fill the seat left vacant by the death of Senator Mary Ellen Goodwin. She died in April after a long battle with colon cancer. In Massachusetts, there are 3 local races for mayor. We begin in New Bedford, where Mayor Mitchell is now looking for a 5th term. The former federal prosecutor has been the mayor of the Whaling City since 2011. His challenger is Tyson Moultrie. In Fall River, the mayoral election is a matchup between the current mayor and a former one. Mayor Coogan and former mayor and Bristol County DA Sam Sutter are facing off there. We're also watching the race in Taunton, where Mayor Shauna O'Connell will look to hold off challenger Ed Carrera. Carrera is a businessman who was actually appointed O'Connell's chief of staff after she was first elected in 2020. Well, voter turnout for the day is not expected to be real high for this special election, but one of the highest turnouts we've seen today is in North Kingstown, where voters are weighing 2 ballot questions. ABC 6 News reporter Caitlin Galehouse joins us now live from one of those polling places in North Kingstown. Caitlin.
Well, John, good evening. For the folks here in North Kingstown, the pulse is very strong. Now, there are only 2 questions on the ballot, and these people are making sure that their voices are heard. We've seen over 4,500 voters in and out of these doors today. hear the package. Okay. Now, the polls are open until 8 o'clock tonight. Be sure to stick with ABC 6 News, both on air and online, for the continuing election coverage that we'll be providing for you throughout the Ocean State this evening. For now, live in North Kingstown, I'm Caitlin Gelhaus, ABC 6 News.
All right, Caitlin, and just to emphasize what you just mentioned there, stay with ABC 6 News on air and online for continuing coverage of today's special election. We have reporters all across the state tonight to bring you the latest results as soon as they come in.